Hey, how's it going? Excuse me. Please look at my signs. I plan to read some cards for you. Just a couple. So I pulled these yesterday actually, but I had a really bad episode with my illness that put me in the wheelchair. Sorry, my hair is... I probably should have done something about that before it started, but oh well. So, yeah. Did I already ask you to look at the signs? Here, take another peep. Alright, so... Oh, you little... One moment while I adjust my... This cord. Why can't you just be supple? Stop trying to control things. You're nothing. Oh my God, I hate you. Well, it's just gonna go out if it's not plugged in, you piece of poo. You know, I set this up before I got there. I knew it was gonna be like this. Should I even be doing this now? Now or never. Might as well. Because I should have done this yesterday, but I couldn't. I had to lay down because my head was hurting so bad. Okay. It doesn't do a damn thing for my mood either. Or it doesn't do anything good for it. Oh, giant fuzz. Hooray! Okay. So, can you get the out of the way? Alright. So I pulled a card from the Shaman's upside down deck, as usual. Why won't you get in there? Everything is just being a joy today. Well, might as well take them all off. There. So I pulled one card. Is the bottom gonna come off too? Oh, good. That was the bottom that I pulled off. Excellent. Well, anyway... These cards from this deck, wow, this is just going fab. I pulled number 24, Galactic Mushroom, the Divine Matrix. And I noticed something. Can everything just... Oh, good. Now I can't find my pointer. Where's that? Seriously? I literally use that thing nowhere but here in this spot. It never goes anywhere. In fact, most of this crap never goes anywhere. Unbelievable. You know what? Hold on. I gotta find that thing because that's gonna drive me nuts. Well, I found the pencil I was looking for 2 days ago, and I found my indicator, my pointer, whatever. Now I have to move all of this debris back. So anyway, I pulled the Galactic Mushroom card. God, that package pisses me off. Also this, can you get the curse word the hell away from me? Okay. That is not what I want. What are you doing? I don't want you either. Go away. Okay, this card. A couple of things. Well, there's a mushroom called the stinky penis. Like I think that's like the layman's term. I'm sure it's got some Latin name, but the stinky penis mushroom, and it's called that because it looks like an erect penis popping up out of the dirt. But it does when it when it ejaculates. It does do that. It ejaculates its spores. Ejaculates its spores. And if you notice, there's seems to be something ejaculating there. Look, I didn't make the card, but it's white, like ejaculate. I don't know. Okay. So anyway, the other thing that I noticed was, also, sorry about the mushroom, the penis one, when it does that, it also peels down, like, it doesn't look like a wiener anymore. Well, I guess it looks like a mushroom. But anyway, on this, I don't know that this illustration exists in reality. I'm not like, I like mushrooms. I'm into looking at them, and I learned a little bit. I don't know all of them. So I don't know if, I don't think this is what the one I was talking about does exactly, but it does like peel back in this way, sort of, so that it can do its thing. But if you will notice, hi, who is that? And they got on what, a little fedora? Is that what's happening? Am I really seeing that? Okay, I have to look at that a little more closely, because I feel like I'm looking at an organ grinder and I'm looking for the monkey. I thought I saw another little face in there. You know, given what I've said so far, the organ grinder and the monkey make no sense. I think this is what I was thinking was monkey. I actually don't know what the heck it is. I guess it's mushroom. I refer to the mushrooms as mushroom people, so maybe that's the manifestation of its humanoid quality. I don't know. It's part of the divine matrix. There's a lot we don't know about that. There's a lot of things, places, people, objects, fossils. There's so much stuff we haven't found on this planet. Why am I talking about? Is this another planet? Oh, maybe that's why nothing is like quite familiar, because it's from another planet. But, you know, I started off that whole sentence thinking about the Matrix, which if you're connected to it in one place, you're basically connected to it everywhere else. You just gotta kind of like node hop, you know? So yes, this could be a dream, you know, or this could be something you encounter in your travels along the Matrix. I'm gonna pin that. So I also pulled the butterfly card from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And so I think we all can look at a butterfly and get the first thing that I think of is like, oh, it's free of the chrysalis. It is no longer a caterpillar. It's no longer a, what do you call them? Pap something? Not a papoose, but sort of. Whatever they are inside the chrysalis, I have to look up the word. It's something with a P. I'm pretty sure. Okay, how do I look that up? Butterfly stages. Chrysalis. Okay, so been there, done that. Already, like, came out of the egg, squiggled around, spun a oh my god, what do you call those silver camper things that you can airstream, wove an airstream around itself so it could go through its changes. And here's the finished product. I'm going to read from what the book says about this, but I feel like this is a projection. All of this here, unknowable stuff going on, stuff that's like, it should look like this, it could look like this. Things may develop where this looks more than familiar, or this makes more sense. But I feel like maybe it's what was going on inside the chrysalis that this was birthed from. I want to pay attention to the fact that I said form instead of from, because its form changed from the icky, sticky little chrysalis worm. Let me find the book. So Up at the top there, you got the triangle with the line going across the top pinnacle. That would be your air sign, and obviously it flies. So air is like messages coming in, like, is one of the things. And isn't it interesting that, like, birds are messengers, and the butterfly also has wings? And what the heck does wings have to do with the messages? Well, then now I'm thinking of carrier pigeons, just literally bringing them back and forth. Okay, oh, that's Earth, so it's not going to be there. It was close, it was a buffalo, but that's not a butterfly. Okay, here we go. It says, butterfly, undergoing great change and transformation. Duh, obvious. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. We, in this country, and also this country being the United States, and also the other countries, they seem to be transitioning. As much as the conservatives hate the idea of people transitioning, that seems to be what a lot of us are doing, and I don't mean sexually. But, you know, that too. Anyway, the energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart. Okay, that's another one. I don't recall seeing that anywhere about air signs, but I'll take it. This change usually involves relationships. My jam. Or if you love your job. Rarely. Perhaps your career. Never. Don't have one of those. Sounds like a lot of work. I'm not lazy, don't get me wrong, but there's some kinds of work that I ain't been there, done that, not doing it again. Let me put it that way. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, ain't that the truth? Be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Well, butterflies is fragile. You can't even touch them. Certainly, I mean, you just shouldn't. Because just like moths, on their wings is some kind of dust, and that allows them to fly, and flying allows them to get to their food source and whatever else butterfly stuff they do. I don't know. Like, I don't think that's really, like, fleshed out. They're born, you know, they crack out of the chrysalis, and then they flutter around and drink flower nectar, and what else? Socialize? Social butterflies. Seriously, what else do they do? Anyway, let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon. Well, when would you not do that, though? Seriously. Committing... Oh, I guess when you're young and dumb. I've been there and also done that. I've learned my lessons. Now I have no friends. JK. Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon. Committing to one daily routine, a meal, practice, or prayer done at the same place and time will do wonders for lifting a butterfly's spirit. Well, see, that routine business, that's too much like having a job for me. I have a loose routine. You couldn't properly call it a routine, probably, because it's that loose, but I do some same things every day, so that's a routine of sorts, and I will take it. It's a stress-free one. I will take it. Oh, okay. When in balance, cheerful, graceful. When out of balance, fragile, frustrated. To bring into balance, daily routine. Okay. What she said. So, I mean, I feel like I talk about the same things all the time. I don't know if it would be any different if I had different card decks. I really don't. I seem to be fixated. But anyway, this period and this projected period, because just like the sun comes up, eventually whatever discomfort, turmoil, unrest that we're going through as a country, or, well, any country, take your pick, is gonna end at some point. It may not be the most beautiful ending that you wanted, you know. You may not get like all the same people you started out with still around, but that has gonna happen anyway. You know, I was watching, as usual, a show, and people were under threat of death. People had died. There was like a disease situation. Nobody really understood it. And, you know, people were freaked out about dying, which is weird because you know you're gonna die, right? Like sooner or later is gonna happen. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I was afraid of death when I was younger, but I feel like I've learned some things and also lived some things, like come real close to dying. We not even really realized it. And one thing that I learned that has really stuck with me, and it was like something I was reading about the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, but it was like a person talking about what Jesus went through when they were like torturing him, basically, like up on the cross and poking him with spears and throwing crap, I guess, like rocks. It sounded like it was the people, like, we're barely better today. We had stoners back then with the throwing stones to at people to death, and today we have Karens. And you might have a Karen with an AR. So, yeah, what, really? We haven't changed a whole bunch? Man, I wish we would get over the whole violence thing. Like, have we not killed everybody and everything in every possible way after all the centuries? Like, do we get it yet? Can we be done? Like, jeez, come on, slowpokes, catch up. So, but what the thing that I read about the Jesus crucifixion is the man basically dissociated, because who wants to, you know, hear all of the terrible words and feel all of the pain? And the dude just walked around. He had like some good and interesting things to say, and then as now, we are not getting the message clearly. You know, it's like there's too much, I guess, ego involved, where we feel like we have to tailor the message to ourselves, which changes the message. And also, the changes leave out the important stuff that he always talked about, like the hating people and the gay and the trans. And he hung out with lepers. He hung out with supposedly prostitutes. But they will say that Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. But then as now, she wasn't actually, if you read, she actually wasn't. That's just what people were saying to make her look bad, just like they do today. It was like the biblical equivalent of a doxing. How about that? It's like, we have not really changed. Hi, are we gonna get bored with it ever? I am. Anyway, if we think like bad things are gonna happen to us, or death is gonna happen, like, okay, so back to the show. I'm watching the show. Everybody's all freaked out. We're gonna die. And finally, somebody says what I always say when I'm watching these things is like, yeah, you're gonna die. Like, am I gonna die while you're sick? Well, you probably are not gonna die from your sickness, but eventually, yeah, you're gonna die. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's an important point to place at the end of my sentence. It's an important point. I really think so. You can check out, is what I'm saying. And if you think that you can't do that, you can do that right now. You don't even have to be under stress, but that's kind of when we just naturally do it. We just like reach into that Akash. We don't even know we're doing it, but we're like, this sucks and I don't want to be here. How can I be somewhere else? And then whoop, you're in the Akash and you have dissociated. Which I'm saying, you ain't there for the pain and all of that. And also, you know, when they rolled away the stone 3 days later and went in to find Jesus and he wasn't in there, it's because he healed himself, came associated back, and got up and walked away. He just left. And see, that's one of the messages that he was trying to give, like the dissociation. He was saying, by doing, this is what you can do, because when he came back, you know, what was he saying? It's like we put so much like English on what we read, and we don't like read what's actually there. And that was the problem he had, Jesus, in the first coming. It's like everybody was hearing what he said and taking it all the wrong way and putting their own spin on it and changing what he said and reshaping the words and making them not what they are. So if you make a recipe and you switch out all of the ingredients, do you think you're going to come up with the blueberry pie you think you're going to make? If the ingredients are like menthol and lint that you're replacing the blueberries and sugar with, you ain't going to have a blueberry pie. Is that a good is that a good example? Too bad. Just going to have to take it. So, you know, with that in mind, the ability to like reset your situation and remake it, you know, like we will so quickly jump on what we can't do. Like we know for sure that we can't do that, but we are so afraid to believe there's things that we can do. How did that happen? Oh my God, I hate this thing. I swear to God, I'm just going to tape it to the wall. Can you just sit there? I need you to do your job. Thank you. So, my thought is, yes, some of us are going through this period of like, I want to say catatonia. But, you know, whatever you call it when you're in the pupa. Pupa, that was the word. When you're the pupa inside the chrysalis, well, there's probably a lot going on. But I'm thinking it's like sleep for us. That's when the body can get some serious work done, is when the brain, with all of the thinking and the constant chattering, is finally shut the hell up and off. Some of the real work can get done. And then also, you know, when you turn off your conscious mind, you can do all kinds of things like sleep and travel the astral plane and visit ancestors and all kinds of dead people. Like, I could just say, call up some dead person, some famous dead person, and start talking to them. And I may not physically see them, but I don't know, like I've been able to like have a contact with people that way only a couple of times, and I'm not sure what the entire formula was for that, because every time it was a complete surprise, like whoa. Like way bigger than talking to like some star you met, some movie star. It's like a whole other magnitude. But just because I call them and I can't like see them or feel them enough to like touch them, I guess, don't mean they don't hear you and that they're not there. In fact, I think all you have to do is just think of somebody and they're like, yes. It's us that are not quite tuned to the right setting, and we go through this, or sorry, this, or well, we come out after we do the this being the pupa period inside the chrysalis. Changes are being made, and I mean, look at it this way. When we are children and we're growing into adolescence, other than like growing pains, which everyone does not get, you don't really know something's happening until hair starts sprouting or you start developing smells you didn't used to have. You didn't have like a conscious hand in those processes, or did you? I didn't. In fact, I was like, oh my God, how can I turn off the smell? This is terrible. Yeah, puberty is, well, I mean, if you've been there, you know it. You know exactly what I mean. It's awkward. You don't even know. You don't even know what's going on with you. You don't even know what's wrong with you. And when I say wrong, let me just quantify that by saying what you would look at yourself and go, oh my God, that is so wrong. But unfortunately, it's one of those growing painful periods where I have a friend and she just called it the butt ugly period. Basically, I think she said ugly. I'm adding the butt. But that's not necessary, either word really, because you're already feeling that because you're so confused and you don't know what's going on. And I remember when I was in junior high school, and I mean, we were all going through it, but I was not one of those people that was picking on other people for, like exhibiting basically symptoms of adolescence. But I certainly got to hear about it from other people. Like, it's like someone one time in class, and this person would do it all the time. I don't know what their problem was. I had the first words I don't think even initiate a conversation with this person, but the first words they had to say to me was picking out something that was like a flaw. And when you're a mean kid and you do it in front of the other kids, what happens? Everybody's laughing at you all of a sudden, which feels great. It was a new school for me, and I'm like, and everybody else knew each other, of course, because they all went to school together. And I was just like, God, what is this chick's problem, man? I mean, I could have gone off on her, but what I started out to say, though, was everybody was going through, but there were a couple of people that, like, to my eye and to everybody else's, were like perfect. But the dude I didn't talk to, and by perfect I mean they basically were like California blonde beautiful kids. So the dude was just a waste. No, there's no talking to him. But the girl, she was like kind of bitchy and snobby at first, but then once I just started talking to her, and I guess it really, looking back, it felt like she realized that there was no competition with her. Then all of a sudden she was just a nice person, which I've seen that happen at all stages of my life, and I think also I do it because as an adult I have met people I knew as an adolescent that were like, you were so hard to get to know, like it was so hard to talk to you. And I was like, really? Well, probably because I had woven a hard shell chrysalis around myself until adolescence was over. Like, get away from me if you're just gonna hurt me. That was the feeling. So, but that passes. You come out of it. You become also like the beautiful person, the swan, because beauty comes in many selections. And really, you're beautiful when you start to see it in yourself. So that just made me think of like the uproar and the unrest that I was talking about. And I was having some, like I said, personally over the past day or so. And what it made me think of was that, well, I had like I said, a really bad headache attack from the brain tumors. And when it's bad, it's bad. Like, I pretty much can't do anything but just be laying around in the dark. And so at some point, I still had to get up and deal with stuff, and sometimes well, most times it's very irritating, the particular thing that I'm thinking of that I had to do. But I also have to do it. So, I mean, it's like a job. It's like that. So, I was just like, I don't know exactly what I said to myself. I don't remember the precise moment, but at some point I said, because of the headache, it was like, I can't like get mad like I usually do and get frustrated. Oh, it's also like when I have a hangover, I'm the same way. It's like, oh my God, it hurts too much. It's too much of a pain to resist and be my normal whatever self. Like, just whatever, I'll do it. You win, take it out, just whatever's the fastest way to the end of me doing whatever it is. I'm just like weak. So I actually got a lot more done, because part of what makes the stuff unpleasant is the dealing with the other people. And the dealing with the other people, I'm often reminded of, I don't know if you've ever had a collection agency after you, but I've had a couple, because I had a student loan that took me forever to pay. I was always paying it. They were just always calling and harassing me for more faster. And I was like, what don't you understand about, I give you what I have. And then they're just never happy with that. I was talking about that the last video, the curse of the minimum payment. But anyway, it was like talking to that kind of people. That's what I have to deal with a lot of times. And it's like abusive. And then I get mad. And I know I can't get mad at them because I need them to do something for me. So I just have to take it. And yesterday when I was so weak, I was just like, whatever, just do it. I don't care. Like, that was pretty much all I had to give. And everything just went so much more smoothly. So lesson to me, stop blowing your top, dummy. But also lesson to me was, if you just make a slight adjustment, wow, things can be so much better. So let me remind your attention to this. Many adjustments need to be made right now. And that's going to be right now for a while. Like, the psychic sources are talking like, we ain't going to really be able to start being able to stand each other for like a decade. So I have a feeling we're going to be wrapping ourselves in chrysalises for protection, or at least me, a lot in the upcoming decade. But it doesn't have to all be like terrible. Like, the adjustment to just like being too weak to get mad. I could use that other places, but I'm sort of coming to terms with focusing on like I feel like negative stuff, but I'm not like loving it and uplifting it. I'm just saying, this is here happening. Wow. I'm just making an observation. I'm most certainly not saying anything. Anybody else has to do anything as a result of something that I'm saying here. I'm just like telling you my stuff. If you find it instructive, great. I hope so. Or at least entertaining. At least get a laugh out of it. Because, boy, that's going to be the attitude you take. Look at the way things are going now. I don't know why this is, but a lot of people want to take things from people. Like, well, rights. That's broad and vague. But, if you don't know what I mean, look it up. And it's kind of hard to be happy about that, and you don't want it to go further or to continue or escalate. You actually want to like reverse, and in the one time where it's okay to like go backwards, you want to get your stuff back that was wrongfully removed from your possession, I feel like. So adjustments are going to be major. And I think I already knew this. I've learned, not like I haven't learned it a million times, but like, calm the F down. Don't get mad. And things go much more smoothly. I had learned that as a child. Well, I guess I haven't learned it quite yet, but I'm aware. I'm working on it. I'm in that chrysalis every evening, so I can wake up a beautiful butterfly. Better than a stinky ejaculator. But you gotta have those too. You gotta have the pretty, you gotta have the pithy, and the stinky and the pooey. Hi, welcome to Romper Room. Thank you and good night.